After 2 days of competition at the MAC Indoor Track and Field Championships, sophomore Julia Curso led the way as Ohio's distance runners had a really strong showing. Following Friday night's victory in the distance medley relay, the 1 mile run saw Julia Curso get beat out in a heartbreaking finish. Toledo's Emma Cortez passed Curso on the front stretch to claim first by less than a second. Both runners broke the meet record, but it was a crushing loss for Curso.
Now, Glenn Janos joins us at the desk. Glenn, Sheridan was dominant throughout the MVL last season. Tonight looked a lot like deja vu all over again.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's exactly right, Blake. Sheridan coach Paul Culver said it would be tough with only one returning offensive lineman, but it seems like they have it all worked out. A 40-0 victory last weekend against Lakewood. They wanted to keep the momentum rolling as they open up league play with West Muskegum, and they are debuting the new stadium. Paul Culver Jr. Stadium got a remodel, retouch up, and you know, how else do you want to start out the new field with
a kick return, maybe?
Yeah, the opening kickoff. Mitchell Fouch here. You take the ball, bounce off a couple defenders, and next thing you know, he's in the clear, taking it 82 yards, 7-0 early on. The offense hasn't even stepped on the field for the Generals. Well, next possession, they are on offense, and Drew Murray to Jacob Horsley, senior connection there, 9 yards, 15-0. West M, their possession now, well, it's not for very long. Dalton McLaughlin will pick him off. He's close to the end zone. He smells it. He wants it. He'll take it in. The 20-yard return, 21-0. Still the first quarter.
Jeez.
West Muskegum, though, they're on offense. Got something cooking inside Sheridan territory, but it's on 4th down here, and you see Clay Musselman just get swarmed.
Ouch,
had nowhere to go. That's the way offense went all night for the Tornadoes. Just a rough go for them. And Drew Murray, just a couple plays later after that sack, carries the ball 36 yards inside the 10-yard line. And Mitchell Fouch will finish the drive, 9 yards out, touchdown, 27-0, and it's at the end of the first quarter. Another touchdown added on early in the second. You see here later on, Mitchell Fouch fumble. West Muskegum recovers, but like I said earlier, nothing going for their offense. Couldn't get points off the turnovers. The Generals were really happy. So were their fans. I mean, how else can't you be? I mean, 53-0 victory to start out league play. That's the way they want to do it. I mean, dominated on the ground, had 418 rushing yards. That's just powering the ball. Yeah, really had no problem tonight with the Tornadoes.
Wow, all right. Well, Sheridan dominant through 2 weeks of play. Looking like they resorted back to their same form last year. We're excited to see what Sheridan has in store the rest of the season. Good stuff, Glenn. They overcame the fumble problem tonight. They beat a good Philo Electric team, a team that came in with a lot of momentum, so another good win for New Lexington. They're now 3-0 on the season with 3 very convincing victories. Are they now a legitimate contender in the MVL?
Well, if their defense keeps playing the way they have, that's something they need to keep it up. Going into the game, they only allowed 196 yards through the first 2 games. So Coach Bill Nutt was really happy. He said there's almost nothing he could say they had to improve on defense. And some, you know, coaches most of the time, they're nitpicking at everything. And tonight it was much of the same. They did give up 220 yards, which seems like a lot compared to what last week they only gave up 79 to John Glenn.
But like we said, it was their biggest test, so you had to expect Philo to bring it tonight.
And they didn't really, you know, allow Philo to threaten too much. There was a fumble early in the first that gave Philo short field position, and later in the second half, when it was really out of reach, Philo added on another score. But mostly it was New Lex just owning the game.
All right. Well, once again, we apologize for not being able to bring you the highlights of this one, but trust us, it was all New Lexington in this one. Thanks a lot, Glenn.
Janos and Seth Austin are patiently waiting on the side set. Fellas, what's going on with these squads?
Alexander got their first win.
Trimble got another win. But really, in all seriousness, Seth, great job for both these teams posting wins in this past week. Now, for the Spartans, what went well for them to get that first win?
Well, you know, they've been working hard all season long. They've been fighting to get this first win of the season. Speaking of wins, Trimble got their second one in a pretty big way.
Yeah, a huge upset over Belpre, beating them 50-48. And freshman Trista Lackey, she hit the game winner with less than 10 seconds to go in the game. And you know, this is a big win because Belpre, they had 9 wins entering the game, 3rd in the league, while Trimble, they were only had 1 win going into the game, sitting at the bottom of the standings. But they proved that records don't matter. They got the win. It was really a sign of the young players stepping up. Sophomore guard Emily McKee led the scores with 14 points. She had 4 threes in the game. And then there was a freshman duo of Tia Altier. She had 10 points, and then Lackey also had 9. And I think the win could also be attributed a little bit to that was their only game this past week, while the previous week they had 4 in that week. So I think it was good for them to get a little bit of rest.
And that's 2 and 3 for them. It'd be great if they can keep this going, Glenn.
Yeah, and I think they can because they've got next week they're going to be facing a struggling Wahama team. The White Falcons have lost 6 of 7. Tomcats only lost by 5 in their first meeting. And they host a hot South Gallia team on Saturday. It might be a tough get a victory because the Rebels are on a 6-game winning streak. So it'd be great to see if the Tomcats could get another upset win.
Glenn, I know the Lady Tomcats have been pulling things together recently, but they were off to a rough start at the beginning of the season, and I think they might have a rough time in the playoffs.
Well, Brad, if you had said this a month ago, I probably would have agreed with you, but this team is streets ahead of where they were at the beginning of this season. They've won 4 out of their last 7, including a huge upset over Belpre. The confidence is through the roof, and I mean, they're getting a lot of great play from freshmen Tia Altier and sophomore Tia Savage. So this team, I think they're going to have a pretty good run in the playoffs.
All right, you think they're going to turn it around?
Well, I think it's going to be really close. If they can get the win the first round, they've got a shot at maybe pulling off another upset in the second round. I mean, they played South Gallia really close a couple weeks ago, beating them or only losing by 2 points. So it's going to be really interesting to see what can happen.
All right, Glenn, I guess I'll let you have that one. I'll agree with you there. Thanks a lot.